Hey everyone! Welcome to Manhua Mantra, your go-to place for all things manhwa. In today's video, we're diving into The Magic Emperor Chapter 634, based on the novel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions or thoughts. Your support really motivates me to keep uploading more videos for you all. So, let's get started. Chu Ching-chung smiled gently. I know your nature, Zhuo-fan. Don't try to deny it. You've been part of the Luo clan for years and never once used your dark methods against your own people. Fiend Yang chuckled. True, she has you figured out, Zhuo-fan. Even in the sect, you never acted cruelly toward your comrades. Looks like you two are pretty close, haha. Zhuo-fan's expression soured as he shot Fiend Yang a glare, then snapped, Enough joking around. This place is dangerous. We need to leave immediately, Shui Ruohua protested. But what about our young master and the elders? We can't just abandon them, Fiend Yang sneered. Stay if you like and let that guy toy with you. Leaving will force his hand and draw him out. That's the only way to fight back. If this basic strategy escapes you, then there's no hope for Mystical Heaven sect. Shui Ruohua flushed in embarrassment and lowered her head, acknowledging their mistake. She spoke softly. All right, I leave it to you. Zhuo-fan was about to speak, but a strange sizzling noise interrupted him. The fog crept into the inn through every crack and crevice like ghostly claws. The group flinched, fear flashing across their faces. Shui Ruohua looked to Zhuo-fan, her voice trembling. The barrier! How is the fog breaking through? Zhuo-fan kept calm, explaining. Didn't you say that people were taken during the night? Yes, Shui Ruohua confirmed. Zhuo-fan sighed. This guy is changing his tactics. He's coming for all of us now. But why now? It's not nighttime yet, Shui Ruohua questioned. Zhuo-fan frowned, deep in thought. Has anyone been taken recently? No, not since we set up the barrier, Shui Ruohua replied hesitantly. Ha, clever guy. Zhuo-fan smirked. Your barrier never worked. It was just a mind game. He didn't act before because he was wary of the elder you tied up. Now that he's gone, the enemy has no reason to hold back. Shui Ruohua and her group were stunned. They had unknowingly lost their greatest advantage. Guilt and regret weighed heavily on them. Zhuo-fan dismissed their self-pity. What's done is done. Stop wasting time and move upstairs. Distance yourself from the fog. Without waiting, Zhuo-fan grabbed Chu Ching-chung's hand and led the way. Chu Ching-chung followed with a smile, her heart warming. At least I matter to him. Zhuo-fan, what about us? Kui Lang's group pleaded as they struggled to move their stiff bodies. Even Kui Gang and Yue begged, Master, please lift the poison for now. We can't outrun this, Zhuo-fan scoffed. Ha! My word is law. Stop whining and focus on running. Tears welled up in their eyes. Though despair filled them, they gnashed their teeth and forced their stiff bodies to move. Fear of the fog gave them a burst of desperate energy, though their movements were far from graceful. Zhuo-fan raised an eyebrow, smirking. Now that's some motivation. Maybe I should have pushed them harder from the start. Fiend Yang, however, looked worried. Zhuo-fan, this isn't the time for training experiments. We don't even know what's inside that fog. Zhuo-fan waved him off nonchalantly. Exactly why we need someone to test it for us. Mystical Heaven sect's group was horrified. How can he be so heartless? He's sacrificing his own people. What kind of monster is this? Even Fiend Yang was taken aback. Are you insane? What if we lose them all before the Double Dragon gathering? Zhuo-fan's sharp eyes glinted. Relax. The enemy is playing a game. He won't kill them outright, just capture them. It's the only way to figure out his next move. Before anyone could argue, a chilling scream rang out. Save me. The first victim was Kui Gang, the slowest of the group. His cry was cut short as the fog swallowed him whole. Kyer! Kui Lang cried out, rushing toward the fog to save his son. His voice was silenced the moment he stepped into the mist. The fog crept closer, consuming the terrified victims one by one. The survivors' fear only deepened as the fog ascended the stairs. While everyone panicked, Zhuo-fan's calm eyes scanned the fog. Strange. They don't seem dead or captured, so why can't I sense them? The eerie fog swallowed the disciples and their cries in an instant, creeping higher as if alive. The others around Zhuo-fan grew panicky, their gazes turning to him for a solution. Fiend Yang, sweating heavily, muttered, I can't tell what this thing is. Even ethereal stage experts would struggle to get through. The group's hearts pounded in fear. What does that mean for us? Are we doomed? Fan's voice cut through the tension, calm and steady. Relax, just watch. He pulled Chu Ching-chung closer to him, her serene smile showing she trusted him entirely. Her eyes never left his face, oblivious to the chaos around them. The fiends, however, weren't so composed. One of them snapped, Fan, you've already thrown 10 disciples into that fog, and now you want to send more? We're all going to die at this rate! Fan waved dismissively, his tone laced with confidence. Take it easy. They're not dead, just caught. I'll save everyone once I understand what's happening. The fiends exchanged bewildered looks. Caught? And what does that mean for us? Fan smirked and raised an eyebrow. Since I don't know what's happening yet, I need more live subjects to test this. You decide who goes next. Don't worry, I'll save you too. The fiends' faces twisted in disbelief. One of them muttered angrily, Why don't you try it yourself then? Fan chuckled, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Me? Rush into the unknown? You must think I'm a fool. I'm staying right here while you lot figure it out. Chu Ching-chung giggled softly beside him. Same old Fan, always making others do the hard work. The fiends were fuming now. You're calling us fools? Of course not, Fan replied smoothly. But among us, I'm the one with the sharpest eyes. I can refine pills and set up barriers. What can you do? If I die, we're all doomed. So yes, the crucial task of testing the fog falls to you. I'll be right here ensuring my safety. His evil smile and raised eyebrow left the fiends speechless. Reluctantly, they nodded. This kid is insufferable, but why does he always have to be right? The trio turned their gazes to the mystical heaven sect disciples, who shrank back, trembling. The fog crept closer, cutting off their space. One of the fiends barked, You lot started this mess! Our disciples are already victims. Now it's your turn to test the fog. Fiend Yang stepped forward, his aura flaring menacingly. Do it or I'll make you! His cultivation power, at the 4th layer of the ethereal stage, pressed down on the helpless disciples. The disciples cowered, inching back in fear. Their hesitation made it clear. They were just as afraid of Fiend Yang as they were of the fog. Then Shui Ruohua stepped forward, her expression calm and dignified. Please don't force them, seniors. I'll go. She glanced at Fan with quiet determination. Thank you for rescuing us earlier. If my sacrifice can help save my fellow disciples, it will be worth it. Fan nodded curtly, waving his hand. Fine, get on with it. Does he really have to be this cold? Shui Ruohua sighed inwardly, a bitter feeling settling in her heart. Chu King-cheng suddenly spoke up, her voice soft yet firm. Senior sister, should I go instead? Fan frowned, tightening his grip on her hand. Why would you do that? Chu Ching-cheng's heart warmed at his concern. Senior sister has always looked out for me. Now it's my turn to help. Shui Ruohua shook her head, her tone resolute. Junior sister, as the leader of our group, this is my responsibility. I'll do it. Before Shui Ruohua could step forward, Fan pointed at Fiend Yang. Actually, you'll go. Fiend Yang's eyes widened. What? Why me? Fan's tone was casual, almost mocking. You're an ethereal stage expert. I'm curious to see how the fog reacts to someone of your strength. Is it an array? Toxic fumes? Sending weaker people won't give me answers. Fiend Yang's face turned pale, but he had no way to argue. He glanced at the other fiends for support, but they avoided his gaze. Makes sense. One of them muttered. You go. The other added. Your sacrifice is for the greater good, Brother Yang. Fiend Yang cursed under his breath. You traitors! After all these years, this is how you repay me? Fan flashed a bright smile. Don't worry, Fiend Yang, I won't let you die. Fiend Yang sighed heavily. Fine, if this is how it has to be, so be it. I've survived worse. With a determined stride, he stepped into the fog. The crowd watched in tense silence. These demonic cultivators are despicable, but at least they have guts. Fiend Yang launched a powerful palm attack at the fog, but it vanished into nothingness. Before he could react, the fog reached out, brushing against him. Fiend Yang cried out, Fan, this fog! And then he was gone. His voice cut off as the fog swallowed him whole. Fiend Yang! The remaining fiends shouted, horror etched on their faces. Fan's expression darkened. This fog doesn't kill, it traps. Fiend Yang must have discovered something before being silenced. The key now is figuring out how to navigate it without getting caught. The group exchanged worried glances, their fear momentarily replaced by a flicker of hope. But the fog continued to creep closer, its mysteries as impenetrable as ever. Jofan's eyes narrowed in thought. Just what is this strange thing?